Hello, I'm Chantal, and joining me today is Tom Ryan-Elliott. Thank you for coming along to join me today. Tom, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi Chantal, I'm Tom Ryan-Elliott and it's great to meet you. I'm 30 years old and it's quite scary. I'm about to reach 31.
What are your health conditions, Tom, and how long have you had them?
It started all the way back in 2014. I went out on what sounds fun, a trip out to San Francisco with some of my good friends, but apparently I fell down 51 steps of stairs, 51 steps on a set of stairs, and cracked a large section of my skull, which caused me to have a cranioplasty, which is a large section of my skull on the front left-hand side. And I spent about 4 months in hospital in Las Vegas, and my parents were flown over out to Las Vegas with the fear that I was going to die.
That is a horrific story, if you don't mind me saying. You know, you've gone out there with friends, having a great time, and then for something like that, I mean, was it just a slip?
Apparently, there was a video, but as I said, I never want to see it because I don't remember it. If I see it, it would make it even worse.
You were in a coma, right?
Yes, so I was in a coma, I think 4 months. And then the first thing I remember, I was flown back, and the first hospital that I came back to was in London. It was Charing Cross, and I was there for a couple of months. From the brain injury, I've also both epilepsy and aphasia.
Can you tell me a bit about your epilepsy and aphasia? Like, how do they affect you?
As soon as I left hospital, the first thing I remember was I went out with my sister and her boyfriend. All of a sudden, it was known as a simple focal seizure, and that's essentially where, in terms of seizures, that's where you just cannot talk. It's not a tonic-clonic seizure where you fall on the floor and twitch and can't move or anything. It's just simply where you can't talk.
Can I ask, are you conscious the whole time? Like,
with a simple focal seizure, you know what you want to say, you just can't get it out.
Did you mention that you have aphasia as well?
Yes, so aphasia is what you might be able to, you personally seeing and anyone else hearing me, will be able to notice, because that's where my speech and language isn't what it should be. Because in my head, I know exactly what I want to say, but I just can't get it out exactly how I want to say it. Yeah, that's why I use tools such as, there's loads of different tools, such as Grammarly, I use a lot. And when I'm writing, I use that to double check my writing. Because if I write things really quickly, when I'm reading it, it seems like they're fine. But when other people see them, they'll notice that I've missed words. So I always slow myself down and ensure that I just double check what I've written before I send it to people. Sometimes for the news, I read a website called unitedresponse.org.uk, which makes news a lot shorter. Rather than a whole page of news, it just makes it a small paragraph. That's
really useful, actually, isn't it? You can end up not knowing what's going on if it's too overwhelming, overpowering, difficult to digest and understand. So it's making news accessible for everyone. And do you take medication for your condition, Tom?
Yeah, not for aphasia, but for epilepsy I do.
Do you get side effects from the drugs?
Very much so. There are things like, even obviously with having aphasia, the different medications do affect your speech, and they can make you sleepy. But It's something I think personally you don't notice because you're taking the medication, it's a personal thing. It's other people that you're talking to notice that you seem very different. I'd say it's taken me about 6 years now, and I'm slowly getting there to a stage where I can actually have a discussion with someone. Sorry.
What's harder to live with, aphasia or epilepsy?
I'd say aphasia, because my speaking, reading, and writing is not as good as I would like it to be. I'm still glad that it is okay because we're still having this discussion. A lot of people who have aphasia can't even talk. Do
you wear the sunflower, and what do you wear, and why do you wear it?
It depends. I either wear it around my neck or I wear it from my pocket.
Do you think the sunflower is needed in society?
Yes, very much so.
Do you have any advice for anyone that has received a brain trauma resulting in epilepsy or aphasia?
There are many different options that can help you should you need it, and I would highly recommend you using them if needed. For those of you who had a brain injury, Headway is a great organisation that has many different local groups across the whole country. Headway is an organisation that helps you do things, actually very simple things that when you first start up hospital, you never really think about. Things such as I mentioned beforehand, Freedom Pass, PIP. Actually, if you're always taking the train, the Freedom Pass, not Freedom Pass, disabled persons rail card. Also, Aphasia Re-connect. If you have aphasia, is a great group to meet other people with aphasia, just to ensure you meet other people with aphasia and learn what is possible, such as reading, writing, and other things such as that, to make sure you keep practicing rather than just letting it go. And as I said beforehand, no matter what, never give up.
Tom, you are an inspiring individual, and I'm so glad that you had decided to share your story with our listeners. If you feel that you have any of the health conditions discussed in today's podcast, please contact your GP. Any of the support charities that Tom spoke about in today's podcast, Sunflower Story video, will be in the show notes.